And joining me in studio is Mr. Craig Olson of the Hayward Community School District, and we'll be talking about what's new happening with. Give us a construction update, I guess we can start with, and what's happening with the buildings.
Yeah, everything's going as planned. Carl Sanderson and the Phillips boys have done a great job with getting that as former Hayward graduates. So, I mean, everything's on track. They just poured the walking track
Oh,
at the
okay,
high school. I mean, that'll be also used for the community. Actually, last night at our board meeting, our board officially gave us approval to post a position for our community ed director. So
okay,
really looking at expanding what we're doing for adult education and then also for our students after school extracurricular type activities, not just athletically. Another big thing with our CTE and technology lab that we have going with our Fab
yeah,
Lab,
yeah.
looking at how we can incorporate some adult learning classes through that,
Oh,
hopefully through Northwoods Tech. And again, the goal is to go slow, to go fast. Don't want to overstep or
right,
step out of our lane too quickly. But I think hiring that director is the first step in our community ed programming. I think it's going to go very well in our
was
community.
there ever a community ed position years ago?
There was probably 15 years ago when
Okay,
Mr. Cox was here. Mrs. Cox ran the
yeah,
community ed program, and it went well. It was more driven towards our camps and some adult learning.
okay,
I think that was the first time it was ever been done. The program went really well. Then kind of went by the wayside, and now with our new facilities, trying to really grow that again to what it
right,
was and maybe expand it to even more things. But I think the relationship one with LCO University, what we're doing there, just was on a different topic a little bit, but went out to a presentation about the expansion of LCO University and their teaching
yeah,
programming.
yeah,
What a great opportunity to keep growing our own in the Hayward community with getting educators back in there. And then that goes right into what we're doing curriculum for adult education, expanding our school day into the summer and after hours.
sure, yeah. No, I've done some teaching through the LCOU's extension program, and I've always been waiting for the Hayward School District to open up their community ed department because there's classes I would like to teach in technology and how to end user things like for older adults to use computers and the new technologies that are coming out that they can learn some of that stuff. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so the facility is going well. I mean, the gym at the primary school, that floor has been poured. The scoreboard, the basketball hoops are up. The gym floor is actually there in pieces. It needs to acclimate to the temperature of the gym a little bit
Oh,
before it
sure.
can be installed.
Yeah.
So that's going. I know they have their Christmas program today at the primary school.
Yeah.
I think I said primary school. They have that there in the new cafeteria today. So yeah, it's all going well. And then as we just got done doing this planning for the last 5 years, we are now finished the design stage of the intermediate school and middle school, which
Okay.
those projects will start June 5th. So it's just back to the drawing board and
Sure. Sure.
expanding the other schools. So all of our deferred maintenance items, all of our school safety planning, and then providing the best learning opportunities for an environment for our students and students. So yeah, it's going well.
How's the high school administrative office construction going?
I mean, it looks really good. I mean, walk by it every day. I mean, it's drywall. They think the carpet goes in tomorrow. So they're actually talking about us moving our central office over sometime mid-February or end of February, right around Berkey week.
Oh, okay.
Central office will work out all the bugs technology-wise because we got to make sure we're still providing good service
Yeah.
with telephones and internet
Right.
to make sure we're communicating with our parents well.
Yeah.
Then after all the bugs are worked out, then the high school staff will move in there. So I think it'll be all up and running 100% no later than end of March. So
Oh, okay.
that was
So I didn't understand the district office will be moving there as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Like, so the intermediate school where the district office is right now, where my office
Yeah.
is, we needed more space for interventions and special ed. So the intermediate school offices will actually move into the central office. That central, yes, in the central office.
Right.
The intermediate school offices will then become intervention rooms for students to make
okay.
sure they're academically succeeding and achieving at a high level. Then central office will move over to that high school office, and that's where
Okay.
the board meetings will be and everything like that as well. So,
Oh, okay. Very
yeah.
cool.
it's going very well. Very impressed with Carl Anderson and everybody involved.
Auditorium, how's that?
That'll be phase 2 of the high school.
Yeah.
So that'll be right along in correlation with
Phase 2 being springish.
Yeah, it's phase 2. It'll be like April-ish,
Okay.
going into summer. So the high school commons, the rest of the classrooms, and the
Okay.
auditorium will all be done October 2024. So that'll be a June 5th, really going at it hardcore this summer. I know they're going to get an early start on it because they've talked about how we got to put up some sub walls in that main entrance of the high school, just as they're working on it. And realistically, it's no different than what they're doing right now with the central office.
Sure.
There's tarps and ladders and cords, and our kids have responded really, really well to it. I mean, they're just understand that there's a construction project going on, and they're walking around stuff, and they see a lot of guys with hard hats walking around, and I mean, very organized for safety wise, not only like for environment with hard hats and vests, but also even our school safety to make sure everyone is doing the right thing for the construction workers. So yeah, Kraus Anderson has done a fantastic job.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank God for them, because I wouldn't want to organize that whole operation.
You got your handfuls with the school.
A lot of meetings going on with construction projects. But we also still have to run the school the way we were in the past. So thank goodness for them being our general contractor and all the subs they got along with it. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, very, very cool. What's happening that we haven't talked really about administratively? What's happening at the board level? Talk about some of the things that the school board has been working with.
Well, I think the first thing, to give credit where credit is due, Linda Plant has been on the school board, I think 11 years is what we figured out yesterday. She just resigned from her position because they moved to a different location, and by law you have to live in the Hayward community to be an elected member of the school board.
Okay.
She wanted to stay on. She's a great member of the school board, but just because of that rule couldn't. So we gave her a plaque yesterday. So that's a change of as we come up with school board elections.
And how's her position going to be filled?
She was up for re-election this April coming up. So I think the board is just going to leave it be and then worry about it in April.
Yeah.
We'll keep it as a 6-member board.
Otherwise, all the positions on the board are full.
Yep. They're all there. Yep.
Okay.
So, the re-election process, no big things. I think the biggest thing the board's been working on, I guess, the building project is huge. One, hiring that community ed director that we got permission to post that position. That'll get out today.
Okay.
Hopefully we get a quality candidate for that position, because that'll be big. And then also working with Tamarack Health. Yesterday, the board approved the naming rights of our new fitness facility, Tamarack Health. And we're going to announce this officially. Yesterday was official by the board approval, but on our January 2nd meeting, they're going to present that they donated a lot of the equipment for the equipment for the facility. So that will be the naming rights for that new facility with Tamarack Health. So we'll go through more details of that on January 2nd at our facilities and committee meeting.
So this announcement today here on the station is not really official.
But... I mean, yesterday at the board meeting too, it really wasn't official, but the board had to approve whether they were going to do it or not, and the board approved.
You've heard it here first.
That's right. That's right. We're pulling the curtain back. No, but we'll do the official announcement all on January 2nd. So. And then just things that we talked about. We had our committee meeting. One thing that we changed up at our school board meetings is each of the principals talk about 3 big things that are happening in each of their buildings. School safety seeming like it's always one of them, of the effort that we're putting in to assure that each student is safe and that we're prepared for if something were to happen. And also just the improvement we're seeing in attendance at all level. Looking at our before and after school program in collaboration with with LCO Head Start. Yeah. We have a waiting list for that program. That's gone really, really well.
Wow.
So again, providing as many opportunities for parents to be least intrusive on their busy lives, but also getting pencils in the kids' hands as soon as we can. Because we know if our students are reading at grade level in 3rd grade, they have a much better chance to graduate than if they're not reading at grade level in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So a lot of emphasis over the last 10 years has been put on that. I'll even say from birth to 3 and then 3 to 5, in that early stages of the student's academic career to make sure they're reading at that level.
Sure.
So that's gone really well. I think another big initiative, and we touched on it earlier, is just the announcement of LCO University and their expansion and their forward thinking ability to expand that teaching program of how we look at our dual credit enrollments and what we're doing with school to work in all aspects of the Hayward area. But now for teaching areas specifically, we have a really close, tight-knit pipeline with a great relationship with somebody just down the road now.
Right.
We call it the Grow Your Own program, and you're a cane for life. If you graduate from Hayward, you're guaranteed an interview when you come back if you want to go into the education field. And we've had great response to that, where a lot of people around, and same as us, this isn't a problem solver, but it sure has assisted us in solving the problem of a lack of people going into education. We have a lot of former graduates that want to come back to the great area Hayward. So this is going to do nothing but assist that.
Wow. Very, very cool. Anything else from the school board meetings?
Talked about again school safety, our mental health. I'd say opportunities. I know the word challenges, which there are, but
Yeah,
just as many resources as we have, and we could always use more. But the number of resources that we have that I think we're actually utilizing now, compared to back in the day when our students that were needing counseling, their parents had to come pick them up. They'd go to an outsourced counseling service. We're now offering up those counseling services for those outside source people
yeah.
with a space in the school district. So that eliminates the parent travel and time away from the classroom. So
Okay.
we're seeing a good response with that. And then I talked about the community education piece of it. So
Yeah. Yep, yep. And then, yesterday there was, a meeting over at the Lakota Ojibwe University, a public hearing on impact aid and Title VI. Talk a little bit about what that was about and some of the responses that you got from that.
yeah, first we always do our school board meeting in December at LCO University. We've
Okay,
done that historically. And then with impact aid meeting immediately follows. So it's nice
sure.
just to get out of our comfort zone of doing it always in the Hayward Intermediate School
Right,
and come out to, and the attendance is okay. I would say the attendance at our school board meetings in the intermediate school library are okay. Would love to
right.
see more people there.
Yeah,
But I mean, we had attendance last night. And then immediately following the school board meeting, we went into impact aid. And the real purpose of that meeting is it provides an official capacity for people to ask questions, not just in regards to impact aid, but Title VI. Um, I always say, don't wait for the meeting to ask those questions. Doors always open. If you have
yeah,
questions or
right.
concerns, come in anytime.
Sure.
This is not the only time for somebody to voice concerns or ask questions. So that's the main purpose. And so I described what impact aid, and in layman's terms, impact aid is just federal money that the district received in lieu or in place of taxes we don't receive on federal property.
Okay.
Michelle Bodine did a great job of asking the question yesterday. It's not just tribal lands, it's all federal lands. For example, in Toma and Sparta, the military bases count.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just money we
Yeah,
receive in lieu of taxes. And then that
sure.
money just goes back into the general budget to pay for heat, to pay for books, to pay for everything that we use the taxpayer dollars. So
Right.
I think most people are understanding that now. I know 7, 8 years ago, that was not the case. There was people that were confused about what impact aid was. We didn't get many questions on that yesterday. We talked about our enrollment data. Total enrollment in the Hayward School District of all students is 1,892 kids. Our Native American identified students is 468. And again, 3 years ago, we didn't answer this question well of what this means. That 468 are students that come into our centralized enrollment, which is right in central office,
Right.
every student that enrolls, and they self-identify as a Native American student. There's no tribal ID required. There's no
Sure.
anything. It's just they're saying they identify, or their parents are saying they identify as a Native American students. And
Okay.
then we provide those resources as we do for all of our Native students, but receive no funding to support those students. The Title VI criteria is 504, I think it's 504 sheets, but it's sheets of paper that we need tribal IDs and things like that.
Okay.
And the total number of students that we've received paperwork on there are 329, and we receive some Title VI funding for that. In Hayward, our Title VI funding all goes to our 3 school liaison officers. That they provide transportation, they provide counseling, they provide tutoring. They're a jack of all trades, but they are linked to the tribal community. We just lost a really good one that resigned. Kim Lambert was a long-standing member that was at the Boys and Girls Club for a while.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
just resigned and took a different position, so that job has been posted as well. So that's the basic gist of what those folks do, and it's huge. Then we also talk about the JOM program and it's a Johnson O'Malley tutoring program that's funded fully through the tribe. The school district pays no money and has no say in what those folks do when they're in the school. But again, it's very similar to the
Sure.
liaisons. A lot of tutoring, a lot of counseling, basically a jack of all trades. What supports can we give to our Native American students? And I know the Tribal Council and our Indian Parent Advisory Committee is working strongly to increase the pay of the JOM program and just get that solidified a little bit, because right now we're missing 2 of the 3 that we have slated that we just haven't filled. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and then I discussed also the same token, and again, it goes back to LCO University and the opportunities they're providing people. Is we don't have an Ojibwa language teacher right now for the first time in the 23 years I've been in Hayward.
Mm,
Didn't receive any applicants after Og left to take her new position. So that we're band-aiding it, but that's 4 big positions to increase academic achievement for our native students specifically, that we don't have people that have applied for those jobs. So I know the tribal council is aware of it. I meet with them the first Monday of every month at 1:00. I know the IPAC committee is aware of it, and I think they have a good plan in place to try to increase the maybe pay is part of the deal, but at least increase the knowledge that these positions are important and try to do a better job of recruiting along with the school. So
right.
that was basically Impact Aid, the basic meeting. There wasn't a lot of questions asked. I went through the Ojibwe language, went through our programming, provide everyone there a packet with all of our programming that we offer. I think most people around here know that. It went well.
Yeah. So earlier, before we went on the air, I was talking about LCL sports activities and stuff. Is there, and I should have asked Hutch this, but is there like a co-op relationship between LCO sports and accessibility to facilities with Hayward School District, or is that something that's being worked on? Because again, I'm not sure. I know that members of the LCO community are like on the varsity and junior varsity football teams, but if LCO created their own football team, they don't really have a football stadium to work out of. And how is that co-relationship with facilities?
Yeah. As far as facilities goes, it has not been an issue as of yet. We co-op officially with LCO for WIA affiliated football.
Okay.
That's our only sport that we do that with. Girls hockey, we have co-ops with different school districts. But LCO, it's Hayward LCO football team. When you look at the WI brochure, there's proper paperwork that needs to be done. So football is taken care of. And other than that, we've not ran into any concerns because LCO has a lot of those other sports. Yeah. We haven't ran into the co-op issue as of yet.
Yeah.
If there was, I'm sure we'd handle it just like we did with football, try to do the best we can to work it out. And LCO school has been very supportive with providing transportation for those students in the co-op.
Yeah.
And also coaches and some funding to go along with that, with that relationship. So that if that was the template of the program, it's gone really, really well. And I know there was some concerns, like when it comes down to divisional playoff type situations, all of those divisions are based on enrollment. And so for that co-op, we have to include Hayward or LCO school in our enrollment. And what we found out is it doesn't change our division at all.
Yeah.
Like if, in some cases, if we had X amount of students and then we co-opt with LCO, that could put us up into a higher division that would make it less competitive for the kids.
Okay.
That's not the case for us. And I know there was rumors flying around about that. We've looked at all the numbers, and that number of increasing LCO, including LCO into our co-op, doesn't impact what division we're playing in the playoffs at all.
Sure.
So it's a positive all around. Provides opportunity. So,
well, good. Yeah, I just never knew, and like I said, I never asked Hutch about that. I was just thinking about it when we were talking, and all the new facilities and availability of equipment and stuff is how does LCO participate in some of that stuff, because they don't have a whole lot here in this facility because there's no room for it.
Yeah.
Or the ability to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, right now I can just say it's football is the only sport that we're doing that with.
Okay.
And maybe that could be expanded in the future.
Yeah. Very cool. Wow. You covered a lot in such short time.
A lot going on. But yeah, all good stuff. I mean, it's busy, but it's all good stuff. I mean, very, very proud of the community and the support we have. We talked about donations of Tamarack Health, and just on a general basis of just the people that are donating to do the best for our kids so they achieve. And the facilities now, I think there's a buzz about that. I mean, we'll have the tools in the tool belt now to provide a really good environment for our students to achieve at a high level.
Yeah. Awesome.
Now it's up to us.
Craig, thank you so much for stopping in and talking to us here.
Always appreciate you having me.